Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the TFL Presents. Today I have the privilege of speaking with Randolph's very own Director of Finance, Janine Smith. How are you doing today, Janine?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Pretty good. The weather let up and it's a little cooler out now.
Yes, very nice.
So, could you tell our viewers a little bit about your background in finance and your path to working in Randolph? I know you were in Hanover before, so have you always been like a lover of the South Shore? You like to work down here? You love finance? What's going on?
I do. I actually grew up in Braintree, so I've been a South Shore girl my whole life. My family settled. I, now still live in Braintree. So when I started to work in municipal finance, I was the assistant town accountant for the town of Plymouth quite a while ago, and was there for a handful of years. And as I tried to climb the ladder, because I'm very ambitious, the finance director there had shared with me that, that's kind of where she wanted to stay and retire. So I needed to change communities to become a town accountant. So I did that. I've also been in Bridgewater, and then I moved on to Hanover to be their finance director. So I've had the experience of working in a few different towns, which is very interesting, but all South Shore. Mm-hmm. So I do like to stick to my roots.
And now you're in the best town of them all.
I am in the best town of them all.
So what drove you to a career in finance in the first place? Were you like one of those kids playing with your number games? I don't know. I'm not one of them. So what made you like finance?
Well, I think it's a few different things. I've always liked numbers, and I was always good at math. Mm-hmm. But I've always been analytical as well. So as a kid, I like to figure out the Rubik's Cube. I always like to do puzzles. Not so much brain teasers, but any kind of figuring out something that everyone else found boring. So when I sit at my desk and I'm looking for 5 cents and I'm trying to compare two different accounts, I'm in my glory. That's what I like to do. So finance, for that aspect, was a good fit. And then as a finance director, you also have a management piece, so it involves a lot more people and planning and policies and those sorts of things. So I'm very type A personality, so this career is a good fit for me.
So I know that about you because I've worked with you a little bit, and I know what your day-to-day life probably looks like, what the director of finance does, but I don't think the town people probably know. So could you run through a day-to-day what you do here for Randolph? I'm imagining spreadsheets and like some really specialty software that's confusing for me.
Yes. So no day is ever typical. I always have a plan of what I want to accomplish when I come in. I'm lucky if I get to maybe one or two of those things. But it keeps it interesting, so nothing is mundane. But the first thing I do when I come in, I always open my email. I always open our financial software. I live on that throughout the day. But yes, there's a whole bunch of spreadsheets, a whole bunch of binders. If you did a snapshot of my desk, I don't know how much can be seen in the screen. There's a lot of reports.
There's a lot, but it's very organized.
It's very organized. I answer questions from town departments. I advise on different happenings, how we should treat different transactions, prepare for council meetings, work with the assessor and the treasurer collector, all those sorts of things. Look at grants, look at gifts, all the ins and outs of the town.
Wow. So all the money in the town's filtering right through your office here pretty much. You're looking at it all.
Yes. I don't see the cash in the checks, but
no.
I see all the numbers on paper.
Yes. So are there any recent or important news items in Randolph, financial items that town members should be aware of? Anything going on?
Well, something that's exciting to us, which might be, for most people, seem like a delay, but we're getting ready to issue over $30 million in bonds, which is going to cover all the money that we've temporarily borrowed to build the community center, do the updates to the library, the fire station, and the police station. Mm-hmm. So as we go along, we temporarily borrow money and we pay it back, and then we borrow a little bit more and we pay it back. Mm-hmm. Now that all the projects are complete, we kind of take everything together, plus some of our normal annual capital items, and we package it together, and we go to market to actually sell a bond. So we have what we call a ratings call with Standard & Poor's, and we go over our financial information, development in the town, our economic factors, all those sorts of things, and they rate us. So they give us a bond rating, which the more favorable it is, the more people are willing to pay for our bonds. Mm-hmm. So that's coming up in the next couple of weeks. That's been a big project that we've been working on, but to us, it's very exciting.
Woohoo! No, it sounds exciting. I mean, to you guys now.
Exactly.
Forgetting about work and numbers for a second, unless you like places in town that have lots of numbers, but could you tell us a little bit about your favorite place in town besides right here in Town Hall, and why it's your favorite place?
Well, I think I would have to say the dog park. So just a little bit about me. I grew up never liking dogs. So anyone who has one, please don't yell at your screen. But my daughter convinced me to get a puppy about a year and a half ago, which we did. We have a black lab. So we're always out and about because she's very energetic, and we went to the Randolph Dog Park. So I not only like the walk in there, but I love the setup. I love the dogs that go there. They play really nice. It's well kept. I'm very much an outdoor person, so anything I can do to be outside is nice. And it gives me a break from the day-to-day work.
Mm-hmm.
So when I go home, it's nice to be able, to play with my daughter and the puppy and be outside and still enjoy the community that I work in, because it's right next to the town that I live in.
Oh, that's wonderful. You're the first person to mention the dog park, and I also have a black lab. She's my
nice.
favorite person dog in the world. Maybe I'll have to bring her there sometime. I haven't
Yes.
been. What is that's something interesting about you, but what's something else interesting about you that people viewing might think is cool or fun or something?
Something that people may not know because it's not related to what I do. I coach 2 basketball teams.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a director of our youth program in Braintree for the girls going into 8th grade.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also coach our 8th grade girls travel team. So it keeps me quite busy, and it's runs about September to March. So it keeps us running, and we're very successful. So I always have to, boast about my team.
Is that one of those travel teams where you have to wake up at 5 in the morning and go very far distances and then play games and drive home?
No, not usually.
No,
We're
okay.
in a South Shore league, so we play neighboring towns.
Okay.
As far down as Plymouth. So that's, the travel's not too bad, but it's several games a weekend. And we won our league last year.
Woohoo!
So yes, my girls are quite good.
I guess they must have a good coach.
That's what I said. It's got to be in the coaching.
So, speaking about kids, if a Randolph kid or one of my Randolph teens over at the library is thinking about a career in finance, what kind of advice would you give to them now as they're still in school?
Stay in school.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely stay in school. Concentrate on your math and your analytical skills, but also people skills and, how to act professionally, and look for some interns. We have a great intern program here at Town Hall. And if it's something that you're interested in, then let them know that so that they could place you in one of the financial offices. We just had a wonderful intern for the summer. I don't think her goal was to become an accountant or anything finance related, but if they know that, then we can place them and certainly have them shadow me and the assistant town accountant, Janet Teal, and learn something.
Yeah, we had 2 interns too, and one of them was really into tech, so I had him working on all kinds of spreadsheets and pulling reports for us. It was
Yes.
really fun. The interns are fantastic here. I love the Randolph kids. They're fantastic. So I wanted to thank you so very much for joining us here today, Janine, in your office actually, so thank me for joining you here. And as always, thank you viewers for tuning in to the TFL Presents.